Yandy Smith never saw this coming. She believed her relationship with Mendeecees was unshakable, especially after supporting him through all their struggles, jail time, family issues, and controversies. But everything changed after a shocking video was leaked, one no one expected. The internet is now buzzing, social media is exploding, and fans are in disbelief. In the leaked footage, Mendeecees is seen with Rasheeda, his longtime friend and Yandy's close confidant, in a very compromising situation. This is the same Rasheeda who has been publicly battling personal issues with her husband, Kirk Frost. The video, which shows Mendeecees and Rasheeda in an intimate moment, was enough to shatter Yandy. She didn't waste any time packing her bags and rushing to her lawyer's office. But how did this video get out? Was it an accident, or was it an attempt to expose them? And more importantly, why was Mendeecees with Rasheeda? Is there more to this story, or is this the ultimate betrayal? The drama is escalating fast, and things are about to get even messier. Yandy was stunned as she stood there, frozen, trying to comprehend the situation. The man she loved, the father of her children, and the person who promised to always be there for her, had just been caught on camera. And it could very well destroy everything. What made it worse was that Rasheeda, someone she trusted, was involved. How did this happen? The atmosphere grew tense as Yandy struggled to maintain her composure, her hands shaking and her heart racing. She refused to cry in front of them, but the betrayal was too much to bear. Mendeecees tried to explain himself, his voice trembling, but Yandy remained unresponsive, suppressing a storm of emotions. "What is this?" she asked, her voice steady but filled with disbelief. Was this a misunderstanding, a setup? Mendeecees opened his mouth, but the words didn't come out. Instead, he turned to Rasheeda, who stood quietly in the corner with her arms crossed. Her once calm demeanor now seemed uncertain. Finally, Rasheeda spoke, urging Yandy to take a moment and listen. But Yandy stepped back, her trust in both of them slipping away. "I'm tired of listening to lies," Yandy shouted. "This video shows you and my husband in a way that's impossible to explain. What am I supposed to believe? That this is some kind of mistake? That you two just magically ended up together and the video was manipulated to make it worse?" Rasheeda tried to say something, but Yandy cut her off. "I've had enough. That video shows the truth. No excuses can change it." Mendeecees, defeated and regretful, ran his hand through his hair, his face filled with guilt. "I never wanted you to find out like this. I wanted to tell you," he began, but he couldn't finish. How could he explain it? Yandy's thoughts raced, and the world seemed to blur around her. She couldn't hear Mendeecees' words anymore. All she could think about was the video and the sight of them together. The betrayal stabbed at her heart. And as the questions swirled in her mind, she couldn't stop wondering, how was Rasheeda involved in this? They had shared so many personal moments together, family secrets, career struggles. Was it all a lie? Had Rasheeda been hiding something all along? Did Kirk know about all of this? What was really going on behind the scenes? Yandy was left reeling, overwhelmed by the whirlwind of emotions. As she tried to make sense of the devastating situation, she couldn't shake the mounting questions, especially about Kirk. Had he known about the secret relationship? Had he been complicit in keeping it from her all along? The questions seemed endless, and with each one, the sense of betrayal grew. The silence between them was unbearable until Mendeecees spoke again, his voice laced with desperation. "Yandy, this isn't what you think. I swear, you have to trust me," he pleaded. But Yandy interrupted him sharply, her tone cutting through the tension. "No more lies, no more excuses," she demanded, her chest tightening with emotion. "I can't believe you did this to me, Mendeecees. It's unbelievable." Every word from Yandy hit harder than the last, each one a painful reminder of the trust that had been shattered. Mendeecees moved closer, his expression pleading. "Please, Yandy, let me explain," he begged, his voice trembling with regret. But Yandy's fury was unstoppable. "How did you end up in this situation with Rasheeda? How long has this been going on? How long have you been deceiving me?" she demanded, her voice rising with a mix of disbelief and anger. Mendeecees attempted to defend himself, his annoyance creeping through as he said, "That's not the whole story. The video doesn't show everything. There's more you don't understand. Yandy shook her head in disbelief. What more is there to see? What else could possibly justify this? Tears threatened to fall, but she fought them back, refusing to let him see her weakness. Everything I need to know is already in that video, she said, her voice cold and final. Rasheeda tried to speak again, her voice trembling. Yandy, there's more to this than you realize. This wasn't supposed to happen. It was a mistake. Yandy sneered in disbelief. A mistake, she echoed bitterly. You're calling it a mistake after seeing that video? After watching the two of you acting like you're more than just friends? Rasheeda flinched, clearly struggling to explain. It was just a private moment. It wasn't what you think, she said, her voice faltering. But Yandy was having none of it. A private moment. And it just happened to be leaked. Really, she scoffed. I'm not sure who's worse right now, me for trusting you, or you for betraying me. Mendeecees opened his mouth to respond, but Yandy silenced him with a gesture. She was done listening to his excuses. She turned and headed for the door, but he called after her. Yandy, don't leave like this. Please, let me explain, he pleaded. But Yandy didn't stop. She slammed the door behind her, unable to stay another moment in that house. The weight of it all pressed on her chest as she rushed out of the door, leaving everything she thought she knew in shambles. As Yandy got into her car, the buzzing of her phone only intensified her anxiety. A call from an unknown number flashed on her screen. She hesitated, then answered with trembling hands. The voice on the other end sent a chill down her spine. Wait until you see what comes next. If you thought that video was bad. Yandy's heart sank. What was that supposed to mean? Her phone buzzed again, this time with a message from Mendeecees. She didn't respond, not after everything that had just happened. Her grip tightened on the steering wheel as she sped through the streets, her mind racing with betrayal and rage. She couldn't stop thinking about the message she had just received. Wait until you see what's coming next. What was worse than what she had already seen? And who was behind it all? With a screech of tires, Yandy made a sharp turn and headed straight for her sister Tasha's house. Tasha was the one person she knew would be there for her, no judgment, just support. As she pulled into the driveway, Yandy barely acknowledged Tasha's concerned look. She marched into the house and collapsed onto the couch, feeling the weight of her shattered life pressing down on her. Her heart ached with every beat, a painful reminder of how everything had fallen apart. Tasha followed her in and paused in the doorway, worry etched across her face. Talk to me, Yandy. What happened? She asked softly, concern evident in her voice. With shaky hands, Yandy unlocked her phone and handed it to Tasha. Her voice barely a whisper, she said, look at this, tell me if it's some sick joke. Tasha's eyes widened as she watched the video. After a long, silent pause, she handed the phone back to Yandy. Oh my God, Yandy. I don't know what to say. Yandy dabbed at her eyes, but she couldn't stop the tears from threatening to spill. I thought I knew him. I thought we were happy, she whispered. How could Rasheeda do this to me? We were supposed to be friends. Tasha sat beside her, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. Yandy, you need to step back for a moment. I know this feels like it's all crashing down, but you have to focus. There's something bigger going on here. This goes beyond just this video. Yandy looked at her sister, confusion and sadness in her eyes. What are you saying? Tasha leaned in, lowering her voice. Who sent you that message? And why now? Why is this happening? Chance to explain himself. Her emotions were in turmoil, her heart torn between the anger she felt and the faint hope that perhaps there was still some truth left in him. I'm not sure if I can take any more of your justifications, Yandy said, her voice barely above a whisper, filled with exhaustion and hurt. I never imagined how much you've harmed me. Mendeecees, however, wouldn't give up. His voice, though still shaky, carried a sense of urgency. Please, Yandy, listen to me. There's more to this than you think. I swear we haven't finished yet. Let me explain everything. Yandy's grip on her phone tightened. She felt a wave of frustration surge through her. Every part of her wanted to hang up, to end the call and walk away from everything him, the betrayal, the heartbreak. But something held her back, a part of her that needed closure, that needed him to be honest with her for once. She took a deep breath, letting his words sink in before responding. "Fine," Yandy replied, her voice steady yet cold, "but this is the last time I'll listen to you." "Explain." "But it better be the truth this time." Mendeecees let out a breath of relief, grateful for this last chance. He began speaking, trying to gather his thoughts and piece together the truth in a way that wouldn't make things worse. He had to make her understand, or this would be the end of everything. "I know I've made a huge mistake. What happened with Rasheeda, it was a mistake. But it wasn't what you think. I never meant for you to find out this way. I love you, Yandy. I never meant to hurt you," he explained, his voice sincere yet trembling with emotion. Yandy's heart wavered, but she didn't let it show. "You love me?" she asked, the words tasting bitter. "If you loved me, you wouldn't have betrayed me like this." "I never wanted to hurt you," he repeated. "This situation got out of control, and now it's a mess I don't know how to fix. But I will do anything, Yandy, to make things right. Please, just give me a chance." Her mind raced, each word weighing heavily on her heart. Could he be telling the truth? Or was this just another attempt to justify his actions, to save face after everything he had done? Yandy felt the conflict inside her, the desire for closure, for peace, against the overwhelming sense of betrayal that still lingered in her heart. "I don't know, Mendeecees," she said, the frustration clear in her voice. "I just don't know anymore." The call ended in silence, and for a moment, Yandy sat still, her thoughts spinning. What was the right thing to do? Could she trust him again, or had everything been too shattered to repair? She didn't have the answers, and as the room around her seemed to close in, she felt more lost than ever. Yandy couldn't shake the doubt when she heard Mendeecees' voice on the other end of the line. She wondered if this was the beginning of the end, or if there was still a chance for redemption. Sitting on her bed, her mind raced as she replayed Mendeecees' words, questioning if his plea to be heard even mattered anymore. The room was filled with memories of better times, family portraits from years past. How had things gone so wrong? They had once built a life together, full of hope and dreams, yet now everything seemed to be falling apart. One mistake, or rather, a series of mistakes, had shattered her world. The image of Mendeecees and Rasheeda, captured in that damning video, kept haunting her. How could he do this to her? Yandy felt a mix of heartbreak and anger. The video was just the tip of the iceberg. The real wound was in the betrayal of love, trust, and years spent together. Mendeecees' voice trembled through the phone, pleading with her. He swore that nothing was intentional, that he had made a mistake. But Yandy couldn't ignore the feeling that his words had lost their meaning. Once, she had found comfort in his reassurances, but now they felt empty. "I can't keep doing this," she whispered. "You can't keep breaking my heart and expect me to move on." There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Mendeecees was at a loss for words, realizing for the first time the gravity of what he had done. It wasn't just the affair that hurt, it was everything, his lies, his selfishness, the way he had put himself above her and their family. Finally, he muttered an apology, barely audible. He promised to make things right, to stop at nothing to fix what was broken, but Yandy wasn't sure if she could believe him anymore. "I need space," she said, her voice shaking. "I need time to figure out what's best for me and the kids. I can't keep living like this." She hung up the phone, her mind spinning. What had gone wrong? She had always stood by him, through all his faults, but this was different. This wasn't just a mistake, it was a betrayal of everything they had built. As painful as it was, she knew she couldn't keep pretending nothing was wrong. A knock on the door broke her thoughts. Tasha entered, worry written all over her face. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. Yandy couldn't answer at first. The weight of it all was too much. Finally, she exhaled deeply. "I don't know anymore," she said. Tasha sat beside her, offering comfort. "It's okay to feel this way. You deserve better than this. You're strong, Yandy. Don't forget that." Yandy turned to her sister, tears in her eyes. "I love him," she whispered. "I don't know if I can just leave him." Tasha gently squeezed her hand. Letting go is hard, but sometimes it's the healthiest thing you can do. You deserve peace and happiness. Yandy's thoughts drifted to the years she had spent holding everything together. Maybe it was time to let go of something that wasn't meant to be. Meanwhile, Mendeecees paced the living room, feeling the loss in his bones. He was losing her, the woman he had promised to cherish. No matter what he did, it felt like he was only making things worse. His desperation grew as he tried to reach her, but she wouldn't answer.